It's been a long road getting from there to here. It's been a long time, but my time is finally near. Just kidding, y'all. Welcome back to my channel, All Things Trek 47. Thank you guys for being here today. A very special thanks to the NX01 for making an appearance in our video for Fleet Week. Fleet Week, everybody. Man, I hope that you all have been enjoying all the wonderful streamers, content creators, and the panels that have been going on this week. Very special thanks to Thomas Maroney, Ambassador Kale, for setting all this up and for getting everybody together for this. Now I'm starting to sound like from New York. I'm not from New York, y'all, but just kind of sound that way. But thank you guys so much, though, for being here today. We have some wonderful content for you that I hope that you'll like and that you'll enjoy. We have some people talking about their favorite ships and why those ships are their favorite. And yeah, it's going to be a great time. So I hope that you'll sit back, enjoy, and relax. And let's get the show started, yeah? Daddy.
Greetings and salutations, weary travelers, adventurers, and captains of all kinds. All Things Trek decided to bring his questions to me and found that I was ready. So let's jump right in. What is my favorite ship in Star Trek and Star Trek Online? Quite simply, it's the Excelsior. I'll get more specific because it definitely bears mentioning. There have been a lot of Excelsiors going as far back as the NX-2000, which first appeared in Star Trek III, The Search for Spock. The NCC-2000 version, my favorite, which was seen in Star Trek VI, The Undiscovered Country, in 1991. I was only 10. It was amazing. So when I talk about Excelsior, that's the one I love the most. The refits and retrofits that came later, like the Lakota, which appeared in DS9, or the Enterprise B, which appeared in Generations, all really go to show the real strength of the Excelsior class. When it was first built, way back, as the Constitution class was aging out, it was ready to take over the fleet and become, the flagship of the fleet, and later the workhorse, the backbone of the fleet for almost a full century, 100 years. The Excelsior class was the vision of Starfleet. And so it's an iconic ship. It's a legendary ship. Now, that ship in-game, the legendary Excelsior Miracle Worker heavy cruiser is my favorite as far as in-game versions, okay? And it really captures the canon mythos of the vessel, because that particular one had been NX-2000, became NCC-2000, so it had the greatest engineer of its time in Montgomery Scott, the Miracle Worker himself, and you had the best helmsman in Starfleet at the time, in that era, as the captain, one of the best pilots you could possibly imagine. So to make the legendary Excelsior Miracle Worker cruiser both Miracle Worker and pilot just made sense. The fact that it came with an additional set of skins to make it look disco era appropriate, my goodness, that was amazing. They really captured the essence of the mythos with that design when they made it legendary, because it was to be like a Section 31 test bed of new technologies. And so that stripped down design really captures that essence. The legendary version of the ship, my favorite, comes with so many additional skins and options. You can kit bash it every which way, and every version of it is just beautiful. So I hope some of you will be able to enjoy it nearly as much as I did. Now, I will go on to say just one little additional thing. if NCC 2000 were to exist in real life, I would not want to be the captain. That's not because I don't want the responsibility or anything like that, but because I would rather serve under Captain Hikaru Sulu. I would like to be the helmsman of that ship so that I can have the greatest helmsman of the time teach me what it means when I say, she's gonna fly apart, and he comes back with, then fly her apart. That's the right energy for a crew I would want to be part of. So I hope that answers all your questions, and maybe it gives you a few new ones. Either way, I hope that you find some joy in Star Trek and in the Excelsior like I do. And either way, as always, live long and prosper.
Hello again, my lovelies. Pirate Scum Gaming here, aka JB. Happy Fleet Week to one and all. The question had been raised to me, what's my favorite ship in all of Star Trek or Star Trek Online? I had to think to myself for just a little bit. The answer is pretty clear, the D7 battlecruiser. The one you see on screen is the Katinga variant, first seen in Star Trek The Motion Picture. This is by far my favorite ship design in either the Federation, Starfleet, Romulan Empire, Cardassian Union, whatever. It's elegant lines, beautifully designed, and it is the absolute symbol of Klingon Imperial might for a very long time, stretching from the TOS era all the way into the modern era when you start seeing it replaced by the Vorcha or the Negvar. This ship is still a powerhouse and a force to be reckoned with. And that's why I fly it. It's a fun ship. I absolutely have a ball doing missions with it. Or even doing TFOs with it. I just like doing things with this ship. And first time I set my eyes on the D7 was in the original series, the episode The Trouble with Tribbles, when you saw the IKS Groth show up on screen circling Deep Space K7. I fell in love with it right then and there, but then I fell in love with it all over again when the Katinga variant made its debut in Star Trek The Motion Picture. It was the updated version, it looked great, it just blew me away. And, what emotions? Joy, just pure joy. I have a ball with this ship. Whether doing just missions or patrols or, random TFOs, doing my dailies, odds are I'll be doing it with this ship because I have a ball flying it. It just makes playing the game so much fun. And the first time I was able to get my hands on this ship, I saw it for a pretty decent price on the exchange, so I picked one up. And the rest is history. I love it. It's such a great ship. I have almost all of the other D7 variants from the different Trek franchises, and by far this is my favorite one to fly. Granted, the Disco D7 is my fleet's flagship, but this is my personal, just fun ship. Just to go flying around the galaxy, blowing stuff up, and doing endeavors. And in my headcanon, this ship performs well and above my expectations. Like I said earlier, this was the symbol of Klingon Imperial might. It was and still is a force to be reckoned with. And you just can't deny it. The D7 has lasting power and just longevity. If it wasn't any good, you wouldn't see anybody flying it, but you see D7s all over the place. And the question remains, would I serve on one? Hell yeah, I'd serve on one. I'd serve on one with gusto and brag about it. Hell, if I ever served on one, I'd probably kill the captain and take over myself. I'd love to captain one of these things. It would be an absolute pleasure to command Klingon troops into battle aboard a D7 or even this Katinga. Those are my thoughts on the D7. And I hope you all have a great Fleet Week. Tune into all the content creators that will be streaming this week. Like I always say, don't go by the book, think like a pirate, and I'll see you around.
Hey everyone, Mikey here, and welcome to Fleet Week. And today I'm going to be discussing one of my favorite ships in the Star Trek universe and in Star Trek Online, and that is the Oberth class. Yes, it is a ship not a lot of you out there would suspect I would be picking, but I mainly picked it because it is made out of explodium. Ha, psych. As good as the Oberth is, it's hard to deny that the Miranda family of ships, both in Star Trek canon and in Star Trek Online, is just too good to pass up. I'm currently flying one of my favorite ships right now, and I'm showing it off, and that is the Tier 6 Bozeman. It is the newest addition to the Miranda family, and not only is it gorgeous, it is a very, very capable vessel. I've always liked the Miranda class and its variants that we have seen on screen over the years, and then the whole ship design team at Star Trek Online took that to the next level, and we have so many variants and they're all gorgeous in their own way. But the Bozeman is the one that, in my humble opinion, flies the best and performs the best. We all start in a Miranda when you start a brand new Federation tune, and rightfully so. The Miranda has been the workhorse of the Federation and Starfleet for many decades, and it only makes sense that in the 25th century that refits and redesigns stay true to the lineage and the memory of past Miranda variants. As I said, I just can't say enough good things about this ship, especially because it is a C-store ship. It is very easily obtainable for majority of players. And, in my headcanon, of course, this would be a ship that would be either in my fleet, my personal armada, or just even a ship that I would serve on, whether it be commanding it or being security tactical, or hell, even being like the intelligence officer. This ship will definitely suit all of those needs. So I want to thank you for watching me showcasing one of my favorite ships in Star Trek Online. Truth be told, there are so many good ships, it's so hard to pick just one. So I can say wholeheartedly, I do not have a single favorite. I have many favorites, and the Bozeman is definitely near the top of the list. Special thank you to my good friend JB for helping me with that little Oberth gag at the beginning, and of course to All Things Trek for allowing me to take part in his video. Until the next time, everyone, I hope you have a great day. Keep enjoying Fleet Week. Live long and prosper. Bye-bye.
Hello, everyone. This is Ken Washington, and I am going to be talking today about my favorite ship. At least my new updated favorite ship, and that is the Disco Connie. The bridge I'm very much sitting on, even though it doesn't look as right as it should, but let's not do that and let's get into the ship itself. So let's talk about the ship. This is the Disco Connie in Star Trek Online, and the first time I set eyes on this particular ship was in an episode of Discovery that I was watching, and I was very intrigued by it because of the captain and how they were portraying the ship itself. Now, this particular one is because they're redoing it in such a great way with Strange New Worlds, and I am all here for it. I am all caught up on that season. And I have told people that know me many, many times that if Star Trek was to become a thing, sign me up as the captain. I feel like I could do a great job. Oh, focus. Whee! She's a DPS monster. And I got the ship, like I said, from the 10th anniversary pack. But yeah, that's basically where I got the ship from, and why it evokes so much emotion to me. Like, I love the way it flies and plays.
My favorite ship, that's a hard one. There's so many beautiful ships in Star Trek over the decades of the shows and the movies, but I think I'm going to have to go with the Defiant. That moment that ship decloaked outside of Deep Space Nine, I was besides myself. It was the coolest thing I had ever seen in my life, And to this day, every time I see it, especially that undershot from the front looking up at the nose, it's just amazing. It's unbeatable. It's one of the coolest ships that they have ever put out. There is nothing like it, and it just gets me pumped every time I see it. The only thing that is better than a Defiant is two Defiants flying in a formation. If I was on the other team or the enemy and I saw those decloak coming in, I would not be happy. I would be afraid. It's an excellent looking design. The lines on it are beautiful. It just screams performance, and so hands down, it is my favorite one. I'm MC Stu, and I approve the Defiant as number 1.
Hi, this is Simon, aka Where's That Sausage Gone? And I just want to talk to you today about my favourite ship from Star Trek and Star Trek Online. That ship just happens to be the NX class. In the game, it's the legendary version, the legendary Columbia. It's a ship we obviously saw first in Enterprise. And for me, it's the original tough little ship, despite what Riker and Worf might think. It's essentially a tugboat in an ocean of ocean liners. Obviously, the technology that the humans were using at the time was around about 100 years behind everybody else in the galaxy. But despite that, the ship managed to prosper and get its crew to its final destination. Especially in the Cindy Expanse, when there was a lot happening to the ship, and it still managed to get through. The thing that really kind of struck me with the series Enterprise was the whole humans going out to the wider galaxy, making those connections, and obviously that becoming the foundation of the Federation. The ship itself, while clearly lacking, was a feat of human engineering that kind of stood the test of time. I do believe that if the series had gone into a 5th season, I understand that there would have been a refit of the ship, which is actually available on the legendary Columbia within Star Trek Online. I really do like that design. There's also a version for what I guess would be the Lost Era period. It has the Excelsior type nacelles and a slightly modified secondary hull. If you get a chance to have a look at the ship within the game, have a play around with the options, because it's really fun. There's a lot you can do with it. For me personally, if I was to be on board the NX, the Enterprise, whichever it may be, I think I'd want to be the chef. I mean, I don't know if you guys have watched much of the Enterprise. I'm guessing you would have done, but obviously the chef is the go-to guy. He knows everybody's secrets. He helps everybody out, and I'm hoping that I could be the guy that everybody could turn to in times of trouble. It's a great series. It is my favourite Star Trek series, which I know not a lot of people will admit to. It is closely followed by TNG, but I think it just kind of hit the right note with me, and I think a lot of that was the ship. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this little ramble, and feel free to get in touch if you want to have a chat more about the NX. Thanks a lot.
We now take a break to hear from our sponsor, Starfleet Academy. The Commandant of Starfleet Academy would like you to join my Discord page. Link in the description below. I'm doing a giveaway on there, not sponsored by Cryptic or Gearbox, just something that I'm doing on my own for a free Tier 6 promo lockbox ship of your choice. That's right, one lucky winner will be able to pick a Tier 6 promo lockbox ship of your choice. That includes ships like the Sagan Cruiser, And also that new Vulcan ship everybody seems to like from Lower Decks. You know, the one big thing with a circle on it and stuff. Apparently it performs really good in game, but it's all right. I don't know. But I also have some other stuff that I'm giving away on there, so definitely go ahead and check it out. Let me put this graphic up real quick. It shows you when that will be ending. So definitely drop by and join us for that giveaway. Now, this next guest is a friend of mine, George Washington. And George Washington is a Star Trek Online streamer, and he streams quite often. But George Washington, he has cerebral palsy, so he doesn't speak in his streams. But I typed up some questions and sent him his way, and he gave me a response back. And so he typed it all up and put it to a synth voice, and one of the most pleasant synth voices, I might add. And I was able to get that and put it in the video. So thank you so much, George Washington, for doing that. Let's go ahead and watch that now.
To be honest, I have two favorites, but I would have to say that the Constitution refit is my favorite because it is the first one that comes to mind and is simply classic. The first time I saw the ship was when I was a child watching The Wrath of Khan on VHS. Most of the young people now are probably going, "What's that? You're so old." Hence why I play as Washington. Ha! Seriously though, that was my first time seeing the ship and I fell in love with it because of the flyby, and the music just made it seem majestic and everything seemed right in that moment in the world. Which I still get that feeling even today, and why I use the ship when I play, plus fits my theme for General Washington. Mostly I like the sense of peace and confidence I feel with the ship. That is the reason I was excited when I was able to purchase the 10th anniversary bundle, because it was a way to able to get that feeling and escape from all the worries of life for a little while a day. The ship performs excellently, especially being an older design. I am able to defeat the enemy. I may not be setting D.P.S. records, but I am able to overcome the odds, much like the crew of the Enterprise 1701 and 1701A. By the way, there's nothing wrong with those who chase DPS, just wanted to make that clear. It's just not my thing. I would love to serve in engineering, that is where the heart of the ship is located, plus I love the pulse of the warp core.
What's up, guys? I'm Stu1701. All Things Trek has gathered a bunch of us together for Fleet Week to talk about our favorite ships. So if you know who I am, or if you've heard me talk about anything at all, you probably know what ship I'm going to talk about. First question was, what is your favorite ship in Star Trek or Star Trek Online? The Odyssey class. Or the Yorktown class. Honestly, I've always viewed the two pretty interchangeably, because, you know, the Yorktown is just an evolution of the Odyssey class, being the Tier 6 version. It was meant to be kind of sort of the refit of the Odyssey class, kind of like what the Constitution refit was to the original Constitution. Though the design language between the two is much more similar, so there isn't quite as much of a visual distinction between the two designs between the two ships, which is why I often view them pretty interchangeably. When was the first time you set eyes on this ship? Was it a movie or TV show? If so, which one? For the Odyssey class. So the first time I saw it was in Star Trek Online. I believe it was 2011, 2012. When they gave out that free one to kind of tease the release of the C-Store versions after they had finished making the new Odyssey class for the Design the Next Enterprise contest that they had hosted with CBS. Yeah, I don't remember exactly. I'm pretty sure that was a First Contact Day event for whatever year that was. But yeah, it was. God, it's probably at least 10 years ago at this point. So yeah, it's been out for a while. Then of course the Yorktown came out in I think it was 2016, 2017, you know, because that's around when T6 came out. Yeah, that was when I first saw it. What kind of emotions does the ship bring whenever you see it? Well, it's not like I'm in love with the ship, despite what my Smash or Pass videos have implied. But it does set off something in my brain, because it does have a special place in there, because like I view it much like I view the main ships from the shows, you know, the Enterprises, the Defiant, Voyager, Discovery. You know, having been able to watch those adventures since I was a kid has always been a really fun thing for me. It's always been really special. But the Odyssey / Yorktown, that's that's been part of my Star Trek adventure. I mean, I've been playing STO since it was in the closed beta, and the with how long the Odyssey's been out at this point, it's been, like I said, almost practically a decade at this point, more or less. Like, I don't know, it's a ship that I've had for a long time, and it's always the one I go back to as like my headcanon main ship, because I've got a ton of other ships in the game, but that's the one I've always gone back to, even if it wasn't always the most optimal ship for whatever I was doing at the time. It's just the one I've always had the most fun in. Last question: if the ship existed in real life, would you be captain or serve aboard it in another capacity? What would the ship's mission be? So real life me should definitely not be a captain. I am I'd be sitting there in the captain seat, just like completely zoned out, full ADHD, just staring at something in the corner, and then something disastrous goes wrong, and I don't tune in until like another 2 seconds later. I am not designed to handle that kind of responsibility. Like if I were to actually serve on an actual ship, especially a ship like that, like an Odyssey class, which these are these are the new flagships. These are those multi-mission ships that can do pretty much anything. They're designed, they're the very definition of boldly go where no one has gone before. I don't know, I'd be that one guy who's like really good at that one thing, and that's the only reason why he's on the crew to begin with. Just make yourself essential for that one thing, and that's it. That's what that was probably the only way I'd be able to stay on any crew whatsoever. As for the ship's mission, like I said, this is it's an Odyssey class / Yorktown class. It's the new flagship. This is the 2409 version of the Sovereign or the Galaxy, or all the way back to the Constitution class. This is one of that new multi-role ship that could do pretty much anything. So mainly what its big thing would be doing would be exploring or diplomatic missions, anything you saw an Enterprise do. That's what it would be doing, because I mean, that's literally because the Enterprise F is an Odyssey. So obviously any other ship would probably be doing something pretty similar. But Odyssey, Yorktown, that's my favorite ship. Like I said, I don't know, it just hits something in my brain. Odyssey, definitely my favorite ship. And fingers crossed it shows up in Star Trek Picard. That's literally all I want in the world at this point. Seriously. Yeah.
Alright, captains, we are back on the bridge, and I am Captain Trizander. Huge shout out to All Things Trek 47 for allowing us to participate in his video for Star Trek Online Star Trek Fleet Week. Thank you so much, Captain. I am humbled. But he's given us some questions to answer, Cap, so what we're going to do is answer them, drop our ECs, and then give our conclusions. So first one up, what is your favorite Star Trek or Star Trek Online ship? Well, captains, as you can see on screen, it is the Galaxy class, aka the USS Enterprise D. Yes, this was the first ship that I saw in Star Trek, and for some reason, I instantly fell in love. She just encompasses, to me, the pinnacle of starship design. And that aft, can I say that aft? Yes! Sorry, captains. But yes, the Galaxy class is what I consider my first love when it comes to starships in Star Trek and or Star Trek Online. So next question up is, when was the first time you set eyes on the ship? Well, captains, what we will do here is actually show you. So we're going to go quickly here. Put this on screen. This is when I first saw the Galaxy class. That stock footage you see of the camera going from below the ship to the front and to the top. That image, that quick little video of the Galaxy class will always be etched in my mind, and that is when I fell in love. And if you look at the model, they've done such a real good job translating that in-game, so huge shout out to Thomas Marone for doing the work that he's done, because it's really close. This is probably the third or fourth reiteration of this ship, but this being really close, like really close enough for me, and it just is such a beautiful ship in our humble opinion. So next question up here is, what kind of emotions does the ship bring out of you whenever you see it? Well, captains, you can probably already hear it, but it just brings out all the feels in me, and it just brings me back to when I first saw the starship on TV there that one fateful afternoon. Just watching it, just seeing it either firing a phaser, firing torpedoes, or just sitting there. It just really makes me happy looking at it. And again, owning it in-game is just one of the happiest things for me in Star Trek Online. So next question up here, tell me about the first time you're able to get the ship in-game, and how did that make me feel? Well, I got the ship first when I was leveling up, and as soon as I had the option to pick it, I did, with my free token there, because you get free ship tokens as you level up. And 100% I picked the Galaxy, and I think I stared at it for 5 minutes, maybe an hour, but for sure 5 minutes, just spinning my camera around, just because of how beautiful the ship looked. And that was the old skin on the ship. This has been remastered, as I mentioned there, for about, it's probably the third or fourth time the ship has gotten a passover, but this one really just hits close. That deflector from the nacelle, the saucer, it's just such a beautiful, beautiful ship. So next question up here is, in your headcanon, does the ship perform to your satisfaction in-game? Yes, 100%. Captains, it doesn't take much for Triz to be happy when it comes to his pew-pews. I have the legendary, I think I have all the versions actually of the Galaxy, but the version that you see here, Captains, is the legendary one. Regardless, any one of them is fine, because as long as I'm on the ship, that is all it takes for me to be happy. But if I had to pick a favorite performing ship, it would be the command version of the ship, which comes from the 10th anniversary bundle. So next and last question up here, if the ship existed in real life, would you captain it or serve aboard the ship in another capacity? And what would the ship's mission be? Well, I definitely would be the captain, 100%. As for the mission, anywhere Starfleet would tell me to go. But I would ask for exploration, also along with meeting new species, because we always like meeting new captains, new friends that we can enjoy life with, Star Trek in general. But that would be the ship's mission, is to just really seek out new life, new civilizations, and boldly go where no one has gone before. Corny as that may sound, that is what I would love my mission to be. So there you go, Captains. Again, huge shout out to All Things Trek 47. Thank you once again, Captain, for allowing me to participate in this video. Captains, we will leave it on this note. Live long and prosper.
I want to say a very special thank you to everybody who helped me create this video. It was very generous of y'all to give me of your time. I know that a lot of you had your own projects going on for Fleet Week, so thank you for taking the time and being a part of this. Also, again, thanks to Thomas Maroney and Ambassador Kale for putting together this Fleet Week and helping us be a small part of it. And to all the viewers, thank you guys so much for being here. Without you all, I mean, there's no reason for us to really do this. So thank you for watching, and continue to enjoy Fleet Week. We still got a few days left and a lot of good content coming up. Have a good one, live long, and prosper.